I'm working on an overlay tool for gamer content creators. Learn more about the big picture here with my overview video.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'll be walking you through the new navigation changes across the platform, but the real focus of today's videos will be graphics packs. Graphic packs are what you use to distribute your own custom graphics across the platform, and there's 3 different types which I'll be covering in today's video. Before we dive into the demo, I quickly want to show off some artwork that I had Copilot generate. I asked Copilot to generate some random characters and the artwork to go along with it. This is the graphics I'm going to be using to demonstrate today. I'll be logging in myself as Purple Goo. I'm logged in as Purple Goo right now. This is a completely blank account, so this is what you'd expect to see when you first log on to the site. Let's dive in. Now the first thing I want to do is go to the My Profile tab, and we're going to be concentrating on these 2 buttons here. So they both relate to graphics. The first one is how we upload graphics into the system. So I'm going to start off by selecting Purple Goo, and I'm also going to select this extra one here called Dirt Wars. Once we've chosen the files, we can click upload. Now they'll probably sit at this queued stage for a little while. It does take a little while for them to kind of for newly created graphics to be checked by the system. They get virus scanned and moderated and all of that. So before you can use new graphics, you might need to wait a little while before they're actually available. Excellent. We're now at the waiting moderation stage. Wonderful. And once they've been virus scanned and moderated, you should see the status of the image change to success and ready. So there are 3 types of graphics packs in this system. There are player graphics, user/layout graphics, and game title graphics. I'm going to be covering them all. The first one we're going to cover is player graphics. Now, effectively, that is the player of the game. If you are playing a game of Minecraft with a friend, say I'm playing with Rocket Fists, so the confused hero and the Rocket Fists artwork need to be used for any visualizations that are created because we are playing the game. Now, I might not be using a layout that was created by Purple Goo. I would still want to see confused hero and Rocket Fists icons if the game was played by them, because it's their numbers, it's their stats. Likewise, if I'm creating a layout that that I want to publish and make public, and I want other people in the community to use, they need to be able to load their own graphics into it. So there is something called a player config file, player config groups. This is where you effectively create a group of the players in a game. So if I'm playing with Rocket Fists, I will create a group for just me and Rocket. If I play, the second game I play is perhaps me, Rocket, and Purple Goo, another player, I need to create another group that's for the 3 of us. And it's because when videos get played and games get played, the artwork is grouped into packs and it's distributed for the specific players that are in the game. And that's not just that happens in the client, it happens in the browser, it happens in the in-edit software. And if you're playing your own game using my layouts, you use your own pack for whichever players you are using in your game. So I'm going to create a new pack. It's just going to be so this is for Purple Goo. So let's create one called Purple and Apple. One of the other characters I had was called Apple Get Ya, so we'll use him as an example. The first thing I want to do is select my player, so this is going to be the artwork that represents my character, and it will be used in quite a lot of different layouts. Whenever you see a number that my score, there'll be my icon against it. So having a transparent background is advised here. There's some file types that are animated you can use, but essentially you really want something with a transparent background. So I'm going to pick the image with a transparent background. Now, because I'm doing a demo today where I'm creating a new account. I'm actually going to be uploading a game played by Confused and Rocket. Purple Goo isn't an account that I own in Minecraft, so there is no game that they actually used. But in here, I'm actually going to use the Confused Hero in-game name, and that's because the data in the game is associated to Confused Hero. When I played the game, that was my in-game name, so that's why we need to have that there, because this is what ties data from the game to the account in the system. Let's go ahead and save that. One thing I need to do is also upload the graphics for Apple Get Ya. Need a refresh button, really. Lovely, that's done. So back to where I was a second ago. Manage player config groups. I'm going to add another character here called Apple Get Ya, and I'm going to bind this to the scores from Rocket Fist. Also going to select some colours. So he's kind of purple and green. So let's make his primary colour purple. And Rocket Fist is Apple Get Ya, your orange and green. So we go orange and green. Bit different. I'm actually planning on replacing these colour pickers with a different one. I find these quite annoying. Right, let's go ahead and save that. It takes a few minutes for graphics to get bundled into packs and then distributed to the various web nodes and things like that. So you might need to wait a couple of minutes before you actually see it in game if that's what you're doing. But we've got our player graphics kind of uploaded now. The next thing I want to do is actually create a game and create a layout. So I'm going to do a game first. Let's create a new game. I'm going to call it graphic test. The player is going to be purple and apple. The game is going to be Minecraft. The log file, I'm just going to reuse the log file from a previous game that I played. This one will do. Upload that, takes a second. Bang, there it is. We'll have to create sessions. I'm not too worried about getting the data perfectly lined up with the video because I've no intention of actually putting this in Adobe. So I'm not done the Adobe bit. I'm just gonna. It was about an hour game, so I'll just put in an hour there. But obviously, if you're doing this properly, you need the numbers to be completely synced with your video. So you need to follow the right process from my in-edit video and just make sure that you get these numbers right. But I'm going to click save there. Today I'm just focused on the graphics. So that's a game. We need to, it says we need to load a game title. I thought I'd done that. Did I not do this? Just save that. Perfect. Cool. So that's working nicely. Now let's create a layout. So because this is a brand new account, I've got no layouts here. So I'm going to click add new layout. I'm going to make this do a couple of things. First thing, I'm going to change the name of it. I'm going to call it graphic test. I'll make it public so you can have a look at it if you fancy it. Default game is worth doing. Basically, what that default game is thumbnails automatically get generated, but they can only do that if there's data associated with the layout. So when you create a layout, you can specify that this game is particularly good for this layout. So what I can do is I can go to my selected video and just grab the ID of that and pop that in the default game. Now I'll make this a drop down and a game picker at some point. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to extend the size of this to 600 pixels. Let's make it 400. Don't think we need 600. Go ahead and save. Lovely. So in the edit, I'm going to speed this bit up. I'm just going to go ahead and just add a few things for us to do some testing with. Be right back. Right, I'm almost there. I've added an image for each graphic type. Just going to add one more thing. Let's do a score table as well. Get a feel for sort of a real world scenario. Let's do dirt, wheat, and bone. Dirt, wheat, bone. And then we have to scale this appropriately. As you can see, as I sort of change this bar, so 54 minutes into the video, we had so Apple Getcha, which the data actually comes from Rocketfest. He had 28 dirt, where Confused Hero or Purple Goo, he had -1. I think you get negative numbers if you start the tracking. If you pick up an item before you start the tracking, the tool gets confused. I explained that in another video. I picked data from a very early video, so it looks like dirt had a little bit of a bug in it, but you shouldn't see negative numbers normally. Wonderful. So what I'm really trying to show you here is the different graphic types. Now, game title comes from the game, so a block of dirt is a great example for that. If I was to change the game to a different game, such as XCOM, let's move over to public games and switch to a game of XCOM, all of a sudden, a few things changed. The players have changed. That's because this game that I have selected was played by Rocketfist and Confused Hero, and therefore their icons have been selected and their colour schemes have been selected. But this image, which is dirt, wheat and bone, have disappeared, and these three as well, because dirt, wheat and bone are not graphics in XCOM. If we were to change this icon to pistol, for example, you get an XCOM pistol, because pistol is a graphic in XCOM. I think there's such a thing as a beam pistol as well. Yeah. So game title graphics come from the game, and they are provided by whoever wrote the mod. If you go to let me just duplicate this and go to game titles, you can see I've currently only got 2 games, but we're working on some others. One of the things you'll see in the details tab, other than the various information relating to how the scores get generated, is also the graphics that are available in this pack. So there's diamond, and there's egg, and there's a home icon, and there's Never Brick, and all sorts of things that you'd expect to see in Minecraft. This is Minecraft graphics provided by the mod developer who wrote the mod and configured the config file to tell my tool how to read the data from that mod. So every time a game title is added, the graphics associated with that game will also be added. So you don't need to do anything. The fact that you're playing a Minecraft game and Minecraft was selected, in this case the game title is XCOM 2, XCOM 2 graphics is automatically added. I'm going to put that back to dirt, and I'm going to switch the game back to my graphics test here. Right. The next one is player graphics. Now, this obviously comes from the player. So we can see the player icons here. You can specifically request a player icon by just saying player 1, and that will give you player 1, player 2, you've guessed it, player 2. So that's very useful when you're creating player specific layouts. I do that a lot. I've made all my layouts public, so you can see how I use that. And this is very, very very useful. I have a view, for example, where I make player 1 the full screen, and then I have player 1's icon right in the middle, and then I also have a screen, have a sort of the player 2's screen gets minimized, and in one of the corners, and I have their icon with that as well. I'll put a screenshot of that here. I'll insert a screenshot in the edit here so you can see what I'm talking about. But that's very useful as well. And then you've got user slash layout graphics. This is stuff that you've effectively added yourself. So if I go back to my profile and select on my graphic assets, I can create a pack. I'm going to create one called Dirt Walls. And within that, I'm going to put the Dirt Walls icon. So what I'm doing now is I'm creating a pack of artwork, grouping it together. It literally gets zipped together and distributed as a zip file to the various web pools, and anyone actually using your layouts live in a game in real time, those packs will get deployed to their browser, to their clients as well. So I'm going to click publish. What that does is it tells my server, go ahead and grab all the various assets you need and join them together in a pack, and we can distribute that as and when we need. I think it's probably already done. Yeah, it's one image, take milliseconds. If you've got like 1,000 images, it'll probably take substantially longer. But once you've put your graphics in a pack, so I put in my pack the one called Dirt Wars Icon T _T. What I can do here is put this. Now this isn't going to work. You're gonna get a white box, which is effectively the icon that means graphic is missing. The reason for that is because you need to load the asset pack. You do that by going to the layout and saying that this layout. Oh, I think I have to just save it there just so it reloads. You can see Dirt Wars is now available. That is the name of the asset pack that I created, which has my graphics in it. I've only got one graphic, that's the asset there. This works like a toggle. If I click it once, I can add it, click it again, it will remove it. But if I add this graphic pack, what that effectively does is when this layout loads, it will load the graphics in that pack with it. Now, if you're loading multiple layouts that use the same graphics pack, the graphic pack only gets loaded once. You don't need to worry about that. But it just says that it tells the tool what graphics it's going to need to render this layout. So if you're uploading icons, for example, you've got your own custom icons you want to use for damage indicators or whatever, you can do that, deploy it to the layouts. Let's go ahead and save this. Okay, I didn't actually need to save it. Took a second, but it just came through on its own. I think it was probably a little delayed, but cool. So we can now see that the user uploaded graphic has been uploaded. The player graphic, which comes from whoever is playing the game, and the game graphic game title graphic comes from whatever the game title is. In this case it's Minecraft, so we have access to Dirt. If I was to change the game to a different game, let's go to public videos and pick Buzzing Tank. There you go. You're now going to load exactly the same layout, but you're going to be loading Buzzing Tank's graphics, and it's loading this game, the game called My First Game, which was a 4-hour game by the looks of things. The stats will tie in with the with the timestamp of that game. We'll just have a look at Blazing Baxter as well. Takes a couple of seconds, but you can see Blazing Baxter and Purple Goo. This is one I was testing earlier. So I think that's all I wanted to cover regarding graphics and asset packs. There is the potential that I might add another graphic pack type some point in the future, which is associated with the video. So if it's week 1 Dirt Wars, you might want to create a week 1 Dirt Wars icon, and you might want to create a layout that says load the week's icon. So each week the layout has the icon for the video. I might do that. I don't know. Let's see if anyone cares and everyone wants it. That's it. Before I wrap this video up, I just kind of want to demo the navigation a little bit better. I've been using these 2 buttons to change the video that have loaded, but these 2 buttons here work exactly the same as the buttons do down the side. So when I click to change video, you get on all of my videos or the public videos, and a drop down that enables you to look at specific users. You can also decide whether you want that in a icon view, if you want that in a nice table, or a compact table which removes the artwork. Just makes it a lot easier to navigate. Makes a massive difference when you're looking at layouts, because I've got hundreds of these. You get the exact same view when you look over here. So if I click my videos, it's all mine and public. It's the same thing. It's just in a side video rather than full screen. Cool, that's it. My next video I think is going to be about all the various different page item types. So when you click add item, there's quite a few here. You can see I'm just showing you the 8 ones that are currently ready for use, but you can see if you click show inactive ones that there has been a lot in the past and a lot planned. So tune in next week for a video on where I'll go through each of the page item layout types. Thanks very much. Bye.